U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited our area today to get a firsthand look at the need behind a new port terminal at the mouth of the Fox River. Brittany Schmidt met up with him as he toured the ports of Green Bay.
Cami, waves out here at the port of Green Bay are rather choppy, but it didn't stop Pete Buttigieg from getting on a boat and touring where the new $25 million state-of-the-art new port facility will be located. We first alerted you to the news of a new port facility last October when the county secured the last of the funds needed to make this happen with a final $10.1 million grant from President Joe Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. The old pulley and power plant will be transformed into this new port facility, which will allow movement of bulk cargo. When it is finished, Buttigieg says it will keep Northeast Wisconsin economically viable for the years to come, bringing in bulk commodities to support industries and employ thousands of people.
And the reality is, good infrastructure investments always pay off like that. They create good paying jobs just in the building of them that helps workers buy homes and educate their kids, and they pave the way for businesses to transform neighborhoods and transform the future of whole communities.
Now, transportation obviously top of mind as Titletown is set to host the 2025 NFL Draft. We know that airports are already looking at adding more flights, but could state officials now have a little bit more pull to expand high-speed rail here to Northeast Wisconsin? We will dig into that after our one-on-one interview with Pete Buttigieg tonight on Action 2 News at 6. Reporting in Green Bay, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.